Good morning, dear student and friend. We are back again in the TY.B.Sc Zoology Environmental Biology paper, semester 1. We were discussing about 3.1 point, that is a part of air pollutions, and that we are greenhouse gas effect we are looking at, and that we will reach up to the discussion of some terms related with description of how greenhouse gases. So from here onward, what are these different greenhouse gases? So first one is the carbon dioxide, a major gas, greenhouse gas responsible for increasing temperatures on earth. Thereafter this methane. Thereafter oxygen gas, ozone, nitrogen gas, argon gas, hydrogen gas and helium. These are responsible for the raising temperature in the atmosphere. All these are naturally present on the earth and in the atmosphere, but the varying concentration of these gases are responsible for additional increase in earth temperature. Earth warmness is maintained because of all these gases. Now, the good thing of a greenhouse gas is our earth is warm because of all these gases, but increasing and varying temperature of these gases are concern of air pollution that responsible for fast raising temperature on earth. So here first gas we'll see is an increase in carbon dioxide. This increase by the burning of fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas. Now whenever we say about the air pollutions, the major concern of air pollution is the source of air pollutant, and the major source is of that burning of fossil fuels. Either that could be coal for power plants, oil and gases for the vehicles running or industrial use. So in all the effect of air pollutions, the major problem is of fossil fuels. When we start using fossil fuels, our 80-90% of air pollution problem will get solved. So too much is harmful to our planet. Normal CO2 is required for the healthy growth of plants and life on Earth, but when the CO2 concentration increases too fast, that is a problematic for the planet. That creates a cycle of carbon dioxides within our atmosphere. That excess carbon dioxide forms a fast cycles, and that cycles can use lot many damages to the planet that contributes to the hole in the ozone layer. Now just that carbon dioxides also produce carbonic acids, and that leads to the ozone ozone layer depletions, that what we have seen in earlier presentation. Here the carbon dioxide cycle, how it goes. So naturally carbon dioxide is consumed by these plants. Here this fossil fuel emits the carbon dioxide. Plants consume that carbon dioxide, and through photosynthesis they produce their organic matter. CO2 is trapped into the lithosphere also in the form of a limestone or dolomites. Atmospheric CO2 is absorbed into the ocean for the organisms present in the oceans. They consume this CO2. So majority of CO2 get absorbed into the oceans. So this is a normal carbon dioxide cycle. Now, if when excess of CO2 develop, which is more for the plants, which is not get absorbed into the oceans, and which is not get converted into this fossil, this coal or oil or this limestone and dolomites, that excess CO2 when released into the atmosphere causes greenhouse effect. So here this is a 3D image of ozone hole. Back in 1987, they first time observed that there is a huge hole in a ozone layer they observe, and that ozone layer is again at the Arctic zone. So uh, because of depletion of ozone layer, the solar rays directly start reaching to the ice cap, and there is a fastening process of melting of this ice cap. And you know the what will be the consequences of a quick melting of ice that will raise the sea level. Then these three oxygen atoms bonded together in a ozone layer that forms a layer above the earth in the stratosphere that protect us from the harmful UV light and UV these rays. They arrest that ozone layer, radiations, UV radiations coming from the sun in a stratosphere only. That ozone hole is a depletion of the ozones in the atmosphere. So if there is no ozone present in this ozone layer somewhere, if there is a no ozone, so that light ray will directly reach to the troposphere, and that increases the temperatures in the troposphere. So what is causing thinning of ozone hole? These are the fossil fuels is a major problem here. The cars, factories, they are running on the fossil fuels, they are in the coal and releasing a lot of CO2 in a CO2, nitrogen oxide, sulfur dioxide into the air, and that is the uh, reason it react with the ozone layer and convert that O3 into the nascent oxygen and O2, and that way there is a formation of a gaps between the ozone layer. The pollutant is another reason for the depletion of this ozone. So here major NPS pollution sources are agriculture. So manure, nutrient and pesticides are released. Then here the sewage and chemical and carcinogens are released through the factories. Then okay, thereafter this sediment from the forest and pathogens from analytical matters release into this oil, gas, battery acid, household chemicals and detergents are released, and these are the pollutants which contribute in the increased carbon dioxide here. The effect of this greenhouse gas is a climate change. Sudden storm development which we experience from last 2 years in different region of the world. That sudden storm development and sudden raining and this, flood-like conditions are developed because of the change in a climate, and that is a that CO2 is responsible for that because it raises the temperature, and because of increased temperature there is a change in a wind current and we experience the storms. Then that harms animals habitat. Because of the excess storming, entire habitat get changed. Where there is a desert, there you will find the heavy raining start. Where there is a good rainforest, that rainforest start drying up. So that kind of climate change we experience because of this greenhouse effect. Decreased crop productions is generally observed as an effect of greenhouse gases. Then flooding, drought, hurricanes, these are all results of storms and heavy rain. Uh, Unseasonal heavy rain leads into this flooding, drought and hurricanes. Okay, up till now we have seen all these points related with greenhouse gas effect. Now we'll quickly revise some this quiz, and we'll see our understand. Okay, so first question is, what is the first atmospheric layer closest to the Earth? Do you remember? Otherwise, we'll go to that slide and we'll verify that again. So let's go to the slide here. This is the nearest layer, nearest to the Earth is a troposphere. The characteristics is a lowest portion of Earth's atmosphere. Around 75% of the entire atmosphere mass consists of water vapors. Its zone is from 0 kilometer, that is from the surface of Earth, to the 10 kilometer, that is a troposphere, and it is warmer nearest the Earth. So Earth get heat up and that heat is radiated into the troposphere. That is colder the further you go. So the source of troposphere heat is only radiations back from the Earth's surface. So as you go advancing around the 10 kilometer height, you will find it is a cold in that layer. We'll go back to the quiz slide here. What is the largest atmospheric layer? Largest atmospheric layer is a thermosphere. This is the largest atmospheric layer in the environment, that is a atmosphere. So it is a fourth layer of Earth's atmosphere. It is a largest, no doubt, from the size, depth. The exosphere is the largest one, but thermosphere is a more concerns with this greenhouse gas effect here. Okay, define the term condensations, evaporation, photosynthesis, radiation, conductions, and convection. Already we have seen this conduction is how the heat get transferred. Evaporations, condensations, when the water changes into the solid, that is condensation. Evaporation, when the water converts into the vapors. Photosynthesis, the production of food by the plants through use of solar energy. And CO2, then radiations, that is a transfer of heat or energy through the rays, that is what is the radiations. And conductions, by close contact with one another, the transfer of heat from one object to another is the conductions. And convections, and the convection is the transfer of energy or heat, particularly through the heat gradients, that is from high temperature to goes towards the object where there is a cold region. What gas is a CO2? What gas is a CO2? Carbon dioxide. What are the sources? What are the sources of this CO2 carbon dioxides? So these are the different gases originated from the, these are the CO2 sources. The majority source is a fossil fuel. Thereafter, what is one cause of an increase in carbon dioxide in an environment? So that is the fossil fuel is a reason for the increased concentration of carbon dioxide in an atmosphere. Does CO2 exist in ocean? Yes, CO2 is absorbed into the ocean and it is consumed by the aquatic life in the ocean. And many planktons consume this carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide exists in the ocean in a trap form. Which two layers of Earth's atmosphere does the ozone layer exist? So where you will find ozone layer, it is at the boundary of stratospheres, at the boundary of stratospheres, and about here at the boundary of stratosphere. At the outer side of stratosphere, you can say between the mesosphere and stratosphere, you will find there is a layer of ozone layer. That ozone gas, that is called as the ozone layer. Okay. What are two things that are causing the thinning of the ozone? The major thing of thinning of ozone is production of carbon dioxide, which goes in when come in contact with the ozone, that carbonic acid is formed and there is a formation of oxygen O2, and that way the O3 get depleted and utilized for formation of carbonic acids. That is one thing of thinning of ozone. Thereafter, there is a reaction of O3 with the chlorine coming from the CFC gases present in a refrigerator or cooling devices, fridge and refrigerators and AC. It contains that CFC gases. Chlorine released from CFC gases combined with the ozone, and they converted that O3 get converted into O2, and there is a vanish of ozone from that stratosphere layer, and that form the holes in a ozone, and through the holes a lot of UV lights enter into the tropospheres, and that heat up the earth atmosphere. What is an effect of a global warming? Now here this is a broad answer you can give related with this global warming. Because of greenhouse gas effect, heating of earth fastens, and that also that is a one reason. Thereafter, depletion of ozone layer also increases the temperature. So such many reasons of increasing temperature of earth contribute into the global warming. Here that climate changes because of global warming, that harms the animal habitat, they destroy animal habitat, they decrease the crop productions on earth, and there is a heavy flooding, drought and hurricane occurs. This is the reason, that is the impact of global warming.